Okay. So the thing with being a new coach is that you just got to take it one step at a time. And I'm going to talk about that. Look nice for just taking a video. Everyone catches me in the worst time when I'm like, meh. Angie always gets me when I'm just looking funny. Um, but what I'm going to go over is very simple. Like, I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, and that's on purpose because I don't want you guys feeling overwhelmed. I've had coaches who have started and then they're like, there's just way too much stuff and like I don't even know where to begin, and so they just like they quit before they even get started, right? Because they just don't even know where to even dive into everything. So yeah, Amber's like maybe feeling that way, like there's so much. No, that's okay, right? There's so much that it's like, where do you even start? So I'm going to share my screen. Da, da, da. Okay. And present. Maybe. Canva, stop messing with me. Okay, so you're a coach. So now what? It's still thinking because Canva takes a while. Okay, so this is for coaches who maybe are new and getting started, or like restarting coaches, or coaches who maybe haven't really like dove into the business. They've just been like working on themselves, which is completely fine, guys. Your sign up date does not have to be the same date as your start date. Like if you talk to Candace, who is in Self Love Dynasty, like she signed up as a coach and was a coach for a year before she ever even started working the business, because she signed up as discount coach and then decided finally that she wanted more of it. Sorry, I'm struggling to find like there we go, right angle of my computer. I will not touch it. Okay. So what should you do first? First and foremost, the most important thing for you to do as a new coach is to be your best challenger. So you want to focus on your workouts, focus on your nutrition, and get yourself the best results. I think the best thing that's happened to me as a coach is me getting in the best shape of my life. Because if you can find programs that work, you can find tricks, when you don't feel motivated, or if you can try the different programs, or you can find the shake recipes, or how you feel about different products, then you can help do it for others too. I think we get so wrapped up in like, I'm not certified in health, or I'm this, I'm not that, or whatever. But it's just, I tell people all the time, being a coach is simply taking like Amber saying like, hey, I did this program and got really good results. Like, hey, I tried 30-day breakaway, wasn't my thing. Like, knowing that is enough, because then people will, like, you are the expert and like, hey, 30-day breakaway, like if you haven't ran before, like let's not do that program. Let's do Lift 4, or let's do these other programs that I've done that have worked really well for me. And so you guys know more than you think. We get so wrapped up in like, well, I haven't done 10,000 programs and I haven't tried every product. You don't. Just, do what you've done and then talk about that. And my other thing is, as a coach, you should start a personal development book, because this will change your entire life. And that's what we're here to do. Some of my personal favorites, Angie and Jess, I'm going to have you share your favorites too, since you're on here. But my top favorites would be The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. I have it on my bookshelf. I read it at least once a year, and it's just really good about how like really small actions turn into big like results. Another one is The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. This is how I get out of bed. It's just, how do we stop letting fear kind of get in the way of things? And then I Am That Girl by Alexis Jones just really talks about purpose and like kind of who we were created to be, and stepping out of that, like what society wants us to be, and like who should we be. So if Angie or Jess wants to hop in and say any books they think would be good for coaches getting started or people getting started with PD.
My top, from what I've read so far, is 5-Second Rule, and then I'm trying to think if it's You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I freaking love that book. Like, put it on your list. I actually have 5 of them in a thrift books package because they were cheap, and I will give them to anyone who wants them. Like, my challenger is like, if I can finally get them to read them, I will. So those two, and then I really liked The Compound Effect. The Slight Edge, I thought they were like pretty, like they're kind of similar in theory
Concepts.
or like what the main idea is. And I don't know, the compound effect just spoke more to me. So those are my top.
I would say also I Am That Girl. I really, really like that one. I read it this year. It just, like Brianna said, it really fires up your why and why we are here. Another one that we didn't talk about is, what's it called, Brianna? We were talking about.
Are you talking about Get Over Your Damn Self?
Yes, that one. And that one maybe not so much for like beginning, but as you dive deeper down, I read it also this year, and it's really, really good as you get more serious, or what, not more serious, but just get more into coaching. It's a really good book to just kind of keep you in check. I'm really struggling to think.
Get Out of Your Head is
Yes, thank you.
fantastic.
That one, Get Out of Your Head. It talks about the toxic thoughts that we feed ourselves and like society and all of that, and it just really is good. It has a Christian spin to it too. So Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen, definitely check that one out.
If you haven't read Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen, I think that is, I didn't put that on here, but that is like my number one personal development book I've ever read in my life, because it pretty much talks about how like we make up these negative scenarios in our head and how like we use that to stop ourselves from greatness, because we make up like, oh, so-and-so is not going to sign up with me, so I'm not going to invite them. Or like, oh, my husband doesn't support me, well, I'm going to be a failure. Like how we change, how we work in our brains, because we're all negative. Like, I shouldn't say we all are, but like, I think almost everyone counts ourselves out before we even get started. So that's an amazing one. And if you don't yet, but get books off Amazon, or I use thrift books. I know Angie and I like compare prices because sometimes Amazon's cheaper, but thrift books, you can get them used. Like the Slight Edge, I think I get for like $4 a copy on thrift books. Other books too, we get for cheap, because I'm not about to spend like $40 on a book. Because I mean, I read like, I mean, right, my goal this year is 40 books. I'm not going to spend that much money. So, okay. That's that. If you ever need recommendations, ask any of us, because we are PD junkies. I have bookshelves. If you need me to mail you some, I will mail you some. I don't, like, we all will share books. So, okay. My second thing is lean into the team. Oh, I love that picture. I just wish we were back all together. I wish we could meet every week in person for team call, because literally this team is what keeps me going. And so one thing I was just hearing a lot of, like, that's been on my heart a lot, is like collaborate, like not compete. Angie and I talk about this all the time, because literally Angie and I sign up the same people, like not sign them up, but Angie will be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is signing up with me. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I've invited them like 7 times. How did they not, or like same things happen with her. I'm like, oh my gosh, this person finally said yes. And she's like, oh, cool. Who is it? And then she's like, oh my God, like I literally have talked to them so many times. So it's so easy. Like it'd be so easy for us to be like, man, that's my success club point. Man, like, God, that sucks. But instead it's like, no, because our purpose is to be helping people, and we help people together. And so collaborate, not compete. That's huge when we're talking about Let's Get Up. I am so freaking excited for the Let's Get Up challenge group. And I'm like, any coach who wants to be a part of this, like, come join me. Like, we will do the heavy lifting together, and it'll be amazing, because like Angie and I and Jess and I have done challenge groups together, and it's so much easier when you have another human being there to kind of go through it with you and to push you. So collaborate. And that goes along obviously with the same one. Work with your upline coach and get your other coaches in the group to get things done. We've had, like, I know now, Jess, Whitney, and Mackenzie kind of work together because those 3 are moms. Like, so they are able to do more mom focused groups than I could do, because I'm not a mom. And so, like, I know in the past we've done accountability partners, and maybe we should, I think actually later in this thing, I'm like, we're bringing them back, because I know like Sarah and Angie, like Sarah told me at Super Weekend, that was one of the big things for her, is having someone one-on-one to say, hey, did you get your crap done? Did you do the things you said you were going to do? So it's really nice to lean into the team, get to know the other coaches. I've literally met, like, my best friends are now this team, and come to events. I know it's hard when we live far away, and I try to like move locations of where they are so that different people can come, and just know we're with you every step of the way, and know that no question is a dumb question. Like, you can ask Angie how many questions a day she probably asks me. Like, I could, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 a day, which is good, right? I'm a teacher. That's what I want. But the more questions you ask, the more knowledge you acquire. And you can Google it too. I mean, Googling, you can find a lot of stuff too, but don't ever hesitate and be like, well, Brianna's going to think this is stupid that I don't know this. Angie asked me the same thing about 7 times. So no, just kidding.
Because I'm terrible at saving stuff. No, I will try and Google it first. I try to figure it out because I know her and I talk about how like students just expect us to give them the answer. So I try to find it. And then if I don't, then I will ask Brianna.
I just give her a hard time. Yeah. Cause she deletes, I will send her messages, but she deletes the message with the answer. So then when she goes back to find it, she can't find it. But I love Angie. I just give her a hard time. Okay, learn one new thing a day. So it's easy to see all the tools, right? You see all the things in the Google Drive. You see all the videos. You see all the team calls on YouTube. You see all the things. Don't watch them all right away. Don't binge watch them. Don't get so buried under this pile of stuff that you don't even know where to begin. Do not do it. Learn one new thing a day, right? So watch one video, listen to one podcast. Like, that's why we do like one chapter of PD, because if I read a PD book straight from start to finish, I'm not going to really get all the stuff in the middle, right? I'm going to remember what it probably first talked about and what it last talked about, and I'm not going to remember anything else. So don't get overwhelmed because there are so many groups, there's so many videos, right? Like even Beachbody nationally, Beachbody does, I don't know, there's like a call every single day you could listen to. And then if you're listening to our team calls and you're listening to a podcast and all this stuff, it can get so overwhelming. So don't do it. Just save yourself trouble and just one new thing. And you don't have to know it all to be a good coach. I think that's such a common misconception that you feel like you have to know every product, you have to know every program, you have to do all of it to be a good coach. Here's the really cool thing is there are a lot of people in our group. And so you think in our accountability group, we've probably done almost every program, which means you don't have to know about it because we have a group full of people who know about it. So, say Liz has someone that is looking at insanity, right? And I haven't done insanity, so I can tell you about it, but I would, post in the group and I'd be like, hello, who's done insanity? Like, what do you think about it? And what should I know about it? Because I know like Tia's done it. There's other people who have done it. And so then I can turn around and say, or even there's programs like Angie's doing the prep, right? So if I talk to someone who's really big into lifting, they love lifting, maybe they've done Beachbody before, they've done Lift4, they've done this, and I can say like, hey, I haven't done this program, but my really good friend Angie is doing this program, and this is what I see, this is what she says, because then it's like a firsthand, like this is what's going on. Or maybe you don't drink pre-workout. I don't know how you survive. If you do, God bless you. Angie did her pre-workout shot this afternoon, and I've realized I have a unhealthy addiction to pre-workout because now I literally take it like every day when I wake up, and I take it like every afternoon when I get home from work. I use the excuse I'm doing my run for 30-day breakaway, so I need pre-workout. But really, I think it's just because I need it to function. So pre-workout, oh God. And so, right, like maybe you don't use Recover. Maybe you don't Focused Energy Bevy, right? I ordered it right away because I know this is going to be my jam, but maybe you don't order it right away, but you're going to know about it from what we talk about it. So use your people, use your experiences, more than you think. And so you don't have to know everything. Just start with what you know and build on that. You can get Shakeology sample packs. You can get performance line sample packs. Like you can always do that, right? Or when I'm signing someone up, I personally have tried all the Energize flavors because I love trying different things. But like when I sign people up for Shakeology or Energize, I say, these are my favorite flavors. This is what I suggest. I know Jess said when she sends a share cart, she sends everyone mixed berry Energize because she's like, this is what like they're going to like. And so, you know more than you think. All of you on this call know more than you think. Bam. Oh, I got to move you. Sorry, I like being able to see you, but then there we go. Okay, so what is the tracker? We talk about the tracker, and I am going to go over this like this is the broadest thing ever because I don't want you to get bogged down in like the tracker and like, oh, it's this big scary thing. So if you go in your coach office and you go to Grow My Business, there's that online Success Club tracker. So essentially what the tracker is all the successful coaches, right? Top 10 coaches, elite coaches, they ask them, what do you do to be successful? If you are like me, what I do when I want to do something is I find someone who, who's done that. And then I go to them and I figure out how do I do that, right? When I was training my ag issues team for FFA, I went to someone who had a state winning team and I said, what do I need to do? Or like, what did you do to have a state winning team? And then I did that. So look at the tracker as like, this is not something that like Team Beachbody, I think of relating it to education, right? People in an office who like are really out of touch and probably have never really even taught are making laws about education that don't even make any sense. And you're like, what the heck are you doing? Right? Like, it is not that. It's not someone in a Beachbody corporate office overlooking the ocean being like, I think it'd be fun to make everyone do this. Because that's how I feel about laws and education. And so it's people who have had a lot of success saying, these are what you need to do. So first is be proof. All of you guys on here are like already being proof, right? People are watching you and you're like, meh, I don't know about that. Yeah, they are like your followers on social media, your family members, your students, your coworkers, your family, all of them are watching you. So show them what you're doing and show them that it really works, right? That's the point of being the proof is like, we are the people. That's why personally, when a new program comes out, I want to be one of the first people to try the sample to do it because my people are watching me to see like, what am I like, how do I get results from it? And then maybe they'll jump on board, right? I think of 9-week Control Freak. I had more people sign on to do 9-week Control Freak after my first 3 weeks of 9-week Control Freak than I did like beforehand because they wanted to see that it worked and they wanted to see the workouts before they paid for it. Second is connecting with others. Crazy. I saw a reel and I can't wait to do it. But it was someone about like, it was a reel and it's like, when people tell you you post too much on social media, like, isn't that the point? And so start using social to be social. Like I quite frankly in my messages, and I'm an extrovert, if you can't tell. And so I quite literally in my message, when I like introduce myself to someone, I'm like, just using social media to like meet new people and be social like it was designed to be, talk to others, comment, engage with them. Like you might think it's weird, like, oh my gosh, this person from high school that I haven't talked to like is pregnant. Well, then say congratulations. Or, is something you really like her dress. Just say you like her dress. I think we overthink it a lot, but think about when people comment on your posts, like if you posted a workout selfie and someone said like, you go girl, keep rocking it, I'm so proud of you. Would you be like, oh, that's weird. Like, why would someone do that? Like, no, I would be like, oh my God, like, thank you. You are so kind. You are so awesome. So why do we get so freaked out? Like when people, or I have random people message me like for recipes or for whatever, right? Replying to my stories. And I am never like, oh, this is weird. I don't know this human being. Why did they watch my story and why are they messaging me? I am just like, oh, cool. Someone new to talk to. And so people think the same way. We just, again, need to get out of our heads and stop telling ourselves that it's weird. And then follow people who look like your kind of people, right? Anyone, if I see a dog on their profile, you can bet I'm following them because I love dogs. Like if they are an ag teacher, I'm following them. If they look like a person you would like to get to know, follow them. It's not weird. It's not creepy. The purpose of social media is to be social. Okay. And then inviting falls under that, but I don't even want to worry about like how you invite right now. And then get people results. So our job is really unique. In other network marketing companies, right? It's a lot of like, when you make the sale, then you're done, right? Like you just get them to buy the product and then you're done. Whereas like for ours, it's interesting because we really like start working when they sign up, and we want to be their accountability partner. So when I first got started, my challengers, I would simply send them a text in the morning, right? Because I had a handful of them. I had them on a sticky note and I'd message each one each morning. Then it kind of got bigger. So I did a Snapchat group, right? Because I wasn't big enough to have a challenge group. I also put them in my uplines group. Like if you have a challenger in my group, I had them in my uplines group. And then eventually we got so big, I made my own challenge group. But be their accountability partner. If you need to start a Facebook message thread, I actually start a Facebook message thread each week for my new person, for like my new people, so I can get them started right. And then lastly is personal development. Like we talked about earlier, read one chapter a day or listen to a podcast or do something to get 1% better. Okay. That is essentially the tracker. Inviting, there's a lot of team calls. There's team calls actually on all of this. Engaging with others, connecting with others, running challenge groups, how to invite, all that. And so I really encourage you, like, if I would work on just implementing 1 or 2 things a day. Don't overwhelm yourself.
Am I down?
Oh, there's Mackenzie. Mackenzie, oh, are your kids feeling okay-ish? Are they puking? She told me they had.
Yeah, no, that's why I was late, because I was cleaning up puke. So,
Oh my God.
yeah.
See, oh, I don't know. I would love them. I would still love them, but it'd be hard. Okay.
At least it's the almost 9-year-old puking, so he usually gets to a bucket or the toilet or the garbage most of the time. So
that's good.
He tries real hard.
Tries real hard. That's better than a baby. So what does success look like to you? There's a new project that Kevin Shaw is putting on. He's kind of in charge of, like, I don't know, he's kind of in charge of the Diamond coaches, and he just wants us to really redefine success. And I think this is really good because, like, I was even having a conversation with Jess, that's like, oh, we didn't realize a way, like, how the system worked. And so we needed to realign what we were doing to reach our goal, right? Because what success looks like is different for each of us. And so you really need to define what success looks like for you, because maybe you're just doing it for fun, or maybe you're like Angie and I and Jess, like, who want to make an income so we can stay home and do that. Or maybe you're just wanting to pay for your product or whatever. But I want you to think about 2 factors to that, right? So what is one thing you can do to get one step closer? I want you as a new coach to just really think, like, just take that one next step and do that one next thing to get you a little closer. So can you invite a friend or a family member? Can you make a post? Can you share your workouts on your story? Can you talk about a new program that's coming out? Oh, I remember, I put that picture of Ashley and Megan on here because, like, Ashley, like, for success for her, like, it's just having fun and having something, to do when she's bored, and the community. So, like, success looks different because she doesn't care about hitting Success Club. She doesn't care about making money off of it, right? Like, she just is doing it for fun and gets to do it with her best friend from home. Okay. And then who can help you stay accountable? So if you have a specific accountability person, Carl Deichler, they did some research and they said, I don't know why there's a question mark, but you are 65% more likely to be successful if you have an accountability partner or someone you're telling your goals to and you're checking in with. So you think 65% more likely to be successful. And they said if you have a check-in date, like where you check in frequently, you're 95% more likely to be successful. Okay. So I really think we should, especially from the people on this call tonight, we should not pick partners, but like we've done accountability partners before, but matching where you're at is so important. So like, I think of Mackenzie and Sarah, like Mackenzie and Sarah are coaches who have like been coaching, but life got crazy for them. So they kind of had to take a step back, but now they're really trying to get back in that. Well, they're in the same stage of like coaching. So like we should pair people who are kind of in the same realm of life and trying to get to the same goals. So just think about what success looks like for you, because then you have a better idea. Success doesn't mean like, right, like my goal is to be 2-star diamond by June. Does that mean that Angie needs that same goal? No. Does that mean that should be Mackenzie's goal? No. Don't look at everyone else's goals and just write it down because you think that's what it should be. And then push past the fear. So coaching is really what you make of it, and anything is possible. You can put in a lot of work or a little work. You can put in 30 minutes a day. You can put in an hour a day. It doesn't matter. I was just talking to Shane because we have been like dying of boredom this weekend because we haven't really had anything to do. And so it's so weird for us. And he's just like, how did you do this? Because he used to work till like 10 o'clock at night every night. So I'd be home from like 4 to 10 by myself. And I'm like, that's why I started coaching, because I had nothing to do and was bored. And so I just really want you to push past the fear and the things of like, well, what if? Like, I think of Rachel, like Rachel had such a thing at the beginning of like, she was so far from her goal weight that like, or she, right, was like, well, I am plus size. So like, who's going to listen to me about fitness advice? Because like, you know, I weigh this much. Well, I don't give a crap how much you weigh. No one gives a crap how much you weigh. Like, people are going to see that you're working hard and what you're doing is working, and they're going to listen. And step outside of your comfort zone, right? You're rewarded for doing things that are scary to do, and eventually they don't seem scary. I used to think like, oh my gosh, I used to post my workout stories and then I'd like set my phone down and not look at it because I'm like, oh my God, like I look so stupid. Or I would talk about coaching on my story and I was like, oh, I was kind of getting after myself because I could say it so much better. Oh, there's a wet Liz. Liz had a bath. Sorry, I get distracted by children easily. All the children. And so just step outside your comfort zone, and maybe that's posting on your page. Maybe that's talking to your sister, your cousin, whoever you think like, I don't know. I was always so nervous. Like, we're so nervous to invite the people closest to us because what if they like judge us? What if they say something? And we want their approval, but think about like those could be some of our people who support us the best. So push past the fear. Okay. This is kind of my last slide, but this business is easy. We're the ones that overcomplicate it. And I'm reminded by that a lot. Like tonight, Angie texted me and she's like, I didn't want to do my invites, but I got them done because like my goals, right? And I was like, crap, it's 30 minutes before team call. And I just realized like I haven't done my invites yet. And so I just like quick knocked them out. And I'm like, holy crap, I just did invites in like 20 minutes. Why don't I do them in 20 minutes every day? Like, half the time I sit here at my computer for 45 minutes and screw around because I'm avoiding my invites. And I was like, well, I just lost out on that much time. So the business is actually pretty easy. We're the ones who overcomplicate it. So my advice to you as a new coach is stick to the basics and really don't worry about the rest. No one's going to join you because you can make really cool reels. No one's going to join you because you have TikTok followers. No one's going to join you because you have fancy graphics or perfect posts. Like, they literally, I spelled real wrong in the last sentence. I was thinking reels and not REAL. So teacher friends, don't judge me. They join you because you're real and you show up consistently, right? Like they join you because they see that you're a real human being and you care and you're going to push them and you are there because you're not going anywhere. And so I just really think we get so worried about like, I need to post the perfect things. I need to have the perfect thing to say. When I started this business, someone told me this, and it was the greatest advice they ever told me is you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. Like whatever you're going to say that day, they're going to hear you and you will be fine. So questions. Is Sarah still on? Because Sarah had a question. Oh, it's such a pate on here. Look at all these humans. There's so many more humans. Okay, Sarah had a question. And so, Sarah, do you just want to ask your question on here so people know where you're coming from? Then I'm going to stop my share. And so then we can answer it.
Yeah, so I think my question was just, I feel like, not really a question, but just like kind of struggling finding the right, or like my people, I guess, because like the people are like close, I think they call it warm market, so like friends and family that would be interested are either already doing with me or someone else. Otherwise, like they're doing their own thing and they're not interested. So if they're working out, they're doing their own thing, or they're just not interested in it right now. So it's just like not wanting to send people random invites without connecting with them first, but they're still like watching your stories. So I don't know, to me that feels awkward. So I guess it's just like trying to find my warm market without like coming off salesy and scaring them off, I guess.
Yeah. So one thing I would do what I love to do, and you kind of started this, is when you did your poll the other day about where do you put your toaster, on the counter or in the cupboard, like do a poll or something that has nothing to do with Beachbody working out at all. Because I've learned if I do a poll, especially controversial stuff, I love it. Like something that maybe like your husband thinks is like normal and you don't, or like vice versa, or like the best flavor or whatever. Because I found people crawl out of the woodworks to vote on that stuff. And then it makes it really easy for me just to do a follow-up message and be like, oh my gosh, I totally agree with you. Like my husband thinks XYZ, and like, nope, we're right. Don't worry about it. And then I try to do a follow-up, like if they say something, I try to follow up and create a conversation. That's been one way that's really easy for me to create conversation, because it gives me a reason to message them. But I also have been known to like go through the people who like my post and just say like, hey, thanks so much for liking my post. I really enjoy like your engagement. I've even asked them like, is there something you'd like to see more of in my feed? Because some people are like, yeah, more recipes, lady, or whatever. And so I think those polls, I always try. I wish I could make a habit of it. It just is something I need to do. Like I'd love to do a poll. Last summer I did a daily question. Like every single day I had a question that people could answer. And that helped a lot because I could connect a lot with people. Angie or Jess, do you have some advice for connecting with new people so you don't feel like you're cold inviting them?
My brain is not functioning at all. I would say it takes time, and Brandon told me this yesterday. I was freaking out about something. It's only awkward if we make it awkward, so don't overcomplicate it. And like what are your, I think also to keep in mind like what your values and core values and all of that,
And
because you don't, beliefs, because like if they don't believe the same thing as you, it's probably harder to connect. Not to say that you shouldn't have other people's opinions. Brianna is very good about listening to other people's opinions, me not so much. But kind of where is your line? Like what kind of people do you vibe with? And you can see that from what they post, perhaps, and you're like, oh, that's cool. Depends on what kind of person you are. I am sometimes closed-minded. I don't know if that helps.
I literally just connect all day, every day. I scroll social media a lot. Like we still have that habit. I scroll social media far too much still, but I make it useful. I am constantly on my stories. I don't care if people think it's weird. Like if someone random is in their inbox, I'm like, oh my gosh, you have the cutest kid ever. Or someone's like, my kids are sick. And I'm like, oh my gosh, toddler puke. Sister, I feel you. And like just commenting on people's posts, and like Andrea Hansen one night was talking about like how somebody popped in her inbox and was like making small talk with her, and she thought that was super weird. And I got all self-conscious and I was like, that's what I do. But she was like, if that's your jam, then just do it. Because I am like, I grew up in a small town Midwest family. Like my parents both owns businesses. Like people come in and they're like, oh, how about the weather? Like that's just normal to me. So I am constantly doing it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks so nice where you are. Like I wish it wasn't that nice here, or something like that. So I don't know. And then over time, and then I don't feel weird about it. Once I've like connected with them once, to be honest, I send the invite, and if they don't want to respond, that's fine. And yeah, they will eventually. Or I'll even have ones that like you send the invite and then you like unknowingly even reply to their stories or something. And that's a little awkward when they actually respond to that. But then I just invite them a couple months later again, and I don't know, you just keep building that connection.
Yeah. And I would say, like Angie touched on your core values and beliefs. And I loved that, because what it sparked a memory of mine was like, my goal is to be their hype girl and to be like the person who is always cheering them on. So like right now with finals, right? Like there's so many people in college who are having finals. And so whenever I see someone who's like studying for my final, like, let's hope I do well. Like, you can bet I'm messaging them and I'm like, you got this, like, you're going to pass the test, like, you're going to do great. Because like, to me, if I got that message, like, that would feel so good for me. And so I kind of give out what I would love to receive, or like, my goal is to be the hype girl. So that's what I'm going to do. Even people, I follow people who do Beachbody, under other people, and they post their sweaty selfie, and you can bet I'm like, dang girl, like, way to get it done. Because, or like gym selfies, any of that, because I have had now multiple times it come full circle where people have been like, hey, my coach is like, and like, she's quitting, or she's, having a kid and taking a step back. And so she's not going to continue her groups. Like, can I join you? Or you have people who see like, let's get up, and is like, holy crap, like, I need something fun like that, because I dread going to the gym every day. And then they might join you. So I just try to keep the door open at all times, and I keep conversations, I keep going. And when you post, I know I probably like, and Jess, Angie, and I probably post more than like what you guys do, just because we're a lot more comfortable with it. But I have had people in our first conversation tell me that they feel like we've been best friends from childhood, and they could tell me anything, because like, they just feel like they know enough about, like, they know that much about me, which, saying that out loud kind of seems weird, because it's like, wow, okay, then who also knows that much about my life that I don't want knowing that much about my life? But it's me. If the Lord is going to strike me down because I post on social media, well, whatever. But I think people feel connected to us more than we think. Kind of the way we do with celebrities, right? Like, we feel like we know celebrities, even though we really don't know them, just because their life is out there. So that was a lot of information.
Fine.
Any other questions?
It's
I
not a
have
question.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, I'll say this quick. I'll put it in the chat, but I was gonna say I don't have a question, but my husband just showed me this like book app called Scribd, and it's like $9 a month. It doesn't have all the books, but like there's been quite a few, and since I've been like on the road more for work, I've been doing the audiobooks more than books, and that's really helped a lot. So I'll share that in the chat.
Ooh, that's good. Because I know like getting audiobooks on Audible, I think is kind of expensive.
Yeah, and there's no limit on how many books you read a month. They have like ebooks and audiobooks, but it's just like they don't have everything. So you just got to kind of find what you want or look for something else. But
It's good to know.
Kind of going off of that too, actually. I have a Kindle. So I pay for Kindle Unlimited every month. I haven't done a lot of personal development, but I think they have a decent amount on there too. That's like $10 a month, and they have tons of books. And I never thought I'd like a Kindle because I like to flip pages in a book, but I love it. So that's another suggestion too. If you read a lot of books but don't want to pay for them, that helps. But my question was, so like you guys have said this a few times, like sending invites, like what do you mean by that? How do you do it? How do you go about it? Do you send the same thing all the time? Like how do you do that?
I love it. Invites evolve, and I'm going to have these two share about it too, but essentially invites is personally, like when I talk about sending an invite, I'm talking about personally sending a message to someone saying, hey, I have this going on. Can I send you some more details? Which when I first started coaching was the scariest thing of my life. Like messaging someone asking them to do something was so scary. But I think of like what it's done for me. And I, like when I first started, like I gave them an out, right? Like there's so many ways you can phrase it. And you kind of got to find what words are you, because like how I phrase things is different than how Jess, like if Jess copy and pasted my message, or even Angie, people would be like, what the hell, who are you? Because this is not how you talk. But anyone, so when I first started, I would do polls. I still do polls, but like I'd message people from polls. I would message people from high school, people who are, commenting on my stuff, that kind of stuff. Now I message, and again, we've been doing this for a while. So like literally my fear with inviting is like -10 because it's just a part of what I do now. But anyone who watches my story and anyone who's liked a post obviously are interested in what I'm doing. And so I invite them. But like my invite is like, it changes with time depending on what's going on. And it changes when I hear invites I really like on National Wake Up Calls or on action hours or something like that. But a few things that I think are personally good to have in an invite is like, I always think personalize it with their name is really good. And then it's something about them when I got started. If I'm talking from someone from high school or a family member or something, I try to personalize it a little bit so that it is more personable. I add some fun details about what's going on, like right now I'm talking about Let's Get Up. So I said, this program is all about fun and starting our day with joy and getting our sweat on. I also just realized I have a typo in here. So that's good. Don't care. It's whatever. It's who I am. I'm human. And then I usually say, like, I used to say, like, thanks so much, hey, so-and-so, thanks so much for your love on my post. I just wanted to see if you'd be interested in more details. Can I send them your way? I try to end in a question and make it not so like one-sided. Like I want them to feel like they should respond to me. I still get ghosted a lot, but I try to say something about like, I'll talk to you later, or hope to talk to you soon, or can I send you the sample workout to try, is what I'm saying about Let's Get Up. But I just try to keep it simple. And then one thing that I've been working on, sorry, this is like really discombobulated. One thing I've been working on is putting in like a why it's for them. Like, so one thing I have right now is like, this is perfect for you because it gives you this. So this is perfect for you, or like, you would love this because, and trying to do that. But invites vary and change. Angie and Jess.
Go for it, Angie.
Okay. All of that very important. Good to include. She's very much a hype girl. I am not. So like she said, if I would send that, it sounds messed up. Like, I don't know. So that's like, you just find your groove. And it took me a long time. And she just shared like an invite with me kind of, because I was like, whatever. And so like, she sent me like what she said. And obviously then I reword it to make it sound like me. So we can share invites. It's just like, okay, so this is how Brianna sounds. That's not how I sound. So how can I change it to be more like me? What I'm trying to focus on with mine is a come along journey of us together doing this. Like, I would love for you to join me and our team. So it's like, you're not just here. I'm not going to just sign you up and throw you out into the cold. Like, this is a come along journey. And that's good because, right, this is for a community of women. And I think that it reinforces like don't know where I was going with this, but it just just makes them feel like, hey, like, I want you to be a part of this and join our theme and not just sign you up and throw you out kind of thing. So I think that's really important because people want to feel connected with you. So.
Yeah, I just laughed because like today, literally in my invite, I said, happy Sunday fun day with like emojis. Like I can never picture Angie ever saying. So like, just because we say something, like you've got to find your own words because yeah, people will be like, what? You've never said that in your life. But like for me to message someone that, like, all of you would expect that from me, for me to be like, happy Sunday fun day, like not out of the ordinary. So Jess.
Yeah. So obviously like I have my own way of inviting, but the thing I was thinking about like while you guys were talking was just like, what is it and how do you do it? So obviously it's like inviting to whatever you have going on. So you're going to be starting a new program. You want people to do it with you, like you can invite to that. If you're using Brianna or Angie's, whoever's challenge group, you can say like, I love this challenge group. Like, would you want to do it with me? And you can, or like, people have a weird thing about feeling like they're locked in if they say yes to an invite. So you kind of leave it we kind of generally tend to like to leave it open. Like, do you want to learn more about it? Or at least that's how I feel like a lot of people do it. But so yeah, that's like what and how do you do it? Like, I mean, if you're starting with your warm market, like sending a message to your sister or whoever it is, or talking to somebody in person, like just telling them like, I love these workout programs, like, and I want people to do it with me. And then once you kind of move out of your warm market, it's just sending them on social media to people that you've connected with, I guess. So, and everybody has different comfort levels with that. Like, I know there's some coaches who, like, if you're on my page, like they think of it like a storefront to like a boutique. And if they're on your page, like they stick around, they like your stuff, like that's connecting. So you might get invited to the next group they're doing or whatever, where I like to connect with them at least on one thing before I send them a message about a group, because like Angie or Brianna said, like about why it would be good for them. If you don't know anything about them, like you can't do that. And that's why, like, I'm doing right now a challenge group for Transform 20. It's 20-minute workouts. My target is like moms, young moms. And like, what's better to say, like, this is awesome because it's literally 20 minutes a day and all you need is a step, do it outside with your kids while they play. So I guess that's my take on inviting.
One other thing I wanted to add, that Brian had mentioned about personalizing the names, and I keep seeing this, like no one wants to get a message of "Hey girl," and that's why I think it's important to personalize their name, because just another part of that connection piece, like, oh, they actually know my name. Although sometimes it's really hard if their name's for some reason not included, then you're like, this is weird. What do I do? So then we approach it as we need, but for the most part, I like to avoid the "Hey girl" messages. Like we said, the personalization part is important.
So my challenge when you're new coaches, like I started with like 1 to 3 invites a day, right? Like I did not send a lot of invites. Like I would just practice, right? Like 1 to 3 invites. And so I did not start with a lot. Then as I got more serious, I did about 5 invites a day. And I thought that was really great because that's what the tracker says. And then and then moving into like last March, when I really started running at this, I do 10 invites a day. And on those push months, so team cup months, I do 20 to 25 invites a day in the beginning. And so like once, like I am not saying like, do not, any of you do not go out and try to send 20 invites in one day, because you'll be like, you'll burn through your people and you'll be like, oh my God, no one responded. What do I do? Like, it's so much easier when you just slowly, gradually build there. But once you've invited for a while, it becomes like a habit. Like I think of school, right? Like I used to be so scared of calling parents. Like it was the most terrifying. And I still, right? My heart still races. But like now I can call a parent and it's like no big deal because I've done it so many times. Inviting's the same way. I hate that I just referred to inviting as calling parents, because calling parents is not fun, but whatever. So there's a lot more too on it. Like if you want a specific call on it, I can send one your way, because it can be confusing, but simple. Keep it simple. It's like inviting, like Angie said, I love how she said, inviting someone to do it along with you. Everyone I invited at first, I said, hey, I'm doing blank and blank. Let's be accountability partners. Can I send you some more details about it? So.
And your first invite is, I'm going to be very blunt. Your first invite is probably going to not be so great. I don't even want to think about my first invite. Did I probably say the "Hey girl" thing? Oh yeah, probably. So here we are giving you our tips now to you to be awesome.
Yeah. And you just start working at it. Like Angie's like, why is no one responding to my invite? And I'm like, send me your invite. Like, and we just talked about like, how can we adjust it so we get more responses, right? Like it's just pivot, if anyone's a Friends fan. So I've actually never watched Friends. Sorry. I watched like 2 episodes. I thought it was dumb, so I stopped watching. I can't do the 20-minute shows. The Office, I also thought The Office was dumb and never watched it. Sorry, Friends. Okay. Any other questions? We're coming up on 8:20. I love it when we have calls that have questions. The teacher in me. So many teachers. Anything? Okay. That sounds good. If you have any questions, if you want help inviting, if you want to say, what does this message sound like? Message one of us. We'll help you out. So collaborate, not compete. That's what we're here for. So we'll help you in any way possible. Okay. Okay. Have a good night, friends. I will see you all later.